So hello and welcome to the Unforced Error. This is a small tennis show, and we'll be previewing the U.S. Open, the last major of the year. My name is Harry. I'm a wannabe tennis journalist, and we'll have a look at some of the runners and riders, who to watch out for, and hopefully give you some tools to enjoy the tournament a bit more. I've been away for a while. I've been a bit inconsistent with the shows, and I apologize for that. But we're back now, and we hope to improve things and still get excited for the last major of the year, because we'll have a while to wait until Australia then. I know what you're thinking. The importance of tennis with all going on in the world, and all the wars and conflicts and everything else. It seems a bit silly to be talking about tennis and pouring our attention into it. And if you're asking me why I'm still spending time on this, I don't have a good answer for you, to be honest. But sport is a great distraction and escape from it all as well. So if you are going to watch the tennis, here is a bit of a guide to who to watch out for. But in terms of the broader scheme of things, I'm afraid I still don't have any answers. So just if we look throughout the year on the men's side, the Sinner Alcaraz dynamic has been permanently established now as one of the great contemporary rivalries in our sport. They made it to the French Open final, they made it to the Wimbledon final, and shared the title. Alcaraz in the French and Sinner in Wimbledon. And a book is already coming out about this rivalry, so it's really been established. Because if you look at the women's side, it's rare that the one and two actually come to the final. We all wanted, we're all eager for Sabalenka and Iga final, but it rarely happens because the women's game is that bit more open. Whereas on the men's side, there's kind of a clear distinction between these two now. They're kind of a field above everybody else. But today we'll have a look at why that mightn't be the case, or who else might be trying to go in the door, because they played in Cincinnati on Monday, and Sinner wasn't looking too good. So you don't know. But when these two boys are fit, there's no catching them. On the women's side, it's been a mix of a year. We've kind of seen the return of peak form for Iga Swiatek, who's changed her coaching strategy and has come back brilliantly to win Wimbledon in emphatic fashion. It's been a year of tough losses for the likes of Sabalenka, Naomi Osaka, and Nissimova. There's been a few brutal losses, and that's kind of shaped the year as well. And there's been a lot of talk about the speeches afterwards and stuff like that. So it's not easy losing. It's a brutal sport, and I know that some players have been getting a lot of unwarranted comments about their speeches online, and that's disappointing to see. But we've had a lot of new players like Anisimova, who's risen to the top now and shown us all what she can do. So that's very exciting. But in terms of the men's side, then, all I will say in terms of takeaways from the year, I was lucky enough to see Jack Draper in the flesh in the French Open. I just saw him in a practice round, but he was absolutely amazing. His ball striking and his presence on court. So I do think he has at least a couple of majors in him down the line. It's going to be hard to knock on the door with Sinner and Alcaraz, but I was really impressed by him in person, as opposed to what you can get off TV. Where he never really registered for me in terms of a major winner, or potentially a major winner until then, but he certainly did on that day. So if we have a look at the draws then, on the men's side, Sinner takes on Kopriva first. Bublik takes on Cilic in that same quarter, and that'll be a great game. It's one of those kind of tough journeymen, probably be 5 sets. So that would be a good one to watch if you have the time. Borgs and Holt, Tommy Paul, and the Americans will be, the Americans always heighten their performance for the US Open. It feels a bit bigger for them than, say, the French pairs at the French or the British pairs at the UK. It's just that, each major has its own energy and its own razzmatazz around it. And for the American players in particular, like Ben Shelton, Taylor Fritz, and of course Francis Tiafoe and Tommy Paul will all be looking to do well. If you're looking for fireworks in the first round, Musetti will take on Perry Carr, the Frenchman with a big serve. So that'll be a game of contrasting styles. Two amazing players. Pericac still coming up on the rise. Musetti has established himself as a consistent quarter-final, semi-final player. But that's just a contrast in styles that you'll want to see. Draper takes on Gomez. Zverev, who has kind of gone on a sort of coaching change, or he's gone looking for answers, we're told, in this kind of time where he was away because his results haven't backed up his talent. Cameron Norrie against Korda, that'll be another great first round game. Van der Zandschulp against Rune. Van der Zandschulp has been known to beat big players when they're out of form, so if Rune isn't on his game, he could be taken out very early there. Other ones to look out for, Fritz and Nave, Ruud versus Offner. Don't count out Casper Ruud. We haven't talked about him in a long time. He didn't feature at the French, he didn't feature at Wimbledon, but he's still a great, clay court, hard court player, and it's easy to forget about him sometimes because of his unassuming character or whatever. Opelka will take on Alcaraz at the start, so that could be, Alcaraz, as good as he's been, has been prone to lose his concentration or drop a set or two here and there throughout the game. So I will be intrigued to kind of see how he handles that and what kind of form he's in. But have no fear. He will grow into the tournament, and when he is locked in and concentrated, pretty much nobody can beat him except for Sinner, who when he is faultless, and I mean faultless, painting lines and winning the baseline exchanges, as well as reading when Alcaraz hits his drop shot. So hard to look past Alcaraz and Sinner in the final, of course, but other people to watch out for, certainly Taylor Fritz, who made the final last year. He will face Djokovic in his quarter final if that comes to fruition, but at some point Fritz is going to have to beat someone he's not supposed to beat if he's going to break into the majors, and he's got the confidence. I do think he's got the game, but I've said that many times and he hasn't backed it up. But I think he needs to find something special at some point, and that could lead to a breakthrough, but we'll see. On the women's side, much more open then, as it has been in the past. Arina Sabalenka gets off against Masarova. Kudermetova plays Diaz. Marino and Fernandez. Fernandez made the final back in 2021, so she will be someone to watch out for, that you can forget how good she is in that kind of way. So they are all in the same kind of quarter. Sun versus Orso will be a great game. Sun plays some lovely tennis. If you haven't seen her, I would check her out. And Ala versus Clara Tauson, two great players. Tauson has had a great year, and Ala, who has really rose to prominence in the early part of the year, has probably gone a little bit quiet since, but definitely something to watch out for. Elena Rybakina has found some sort of form again. She's had trouble with coaching. Her coach was suspended for a while and now he's back, but she is playing well again. Does she have the consistency to win 7 times over 2 weeks? I'm still not sure, but definitely someone to watch out for. She plays Pareja in the first game. Raducanu will play the Japanese player Shibahara. Raducanu has played a lot of tennis recently and is looking very good. When I have seen her, her baseline exchanges are extremely impressive again, and it's hard to forget that she won this tournament a couple of years ago as well. So will she find major form again? It remains to be seen, but if she was going to do it, she has good memories here in New York, so we will see. Other players to watch out for: Jessica Pegula gets off against Sharif. Pavlyuchenkova versus Yasim Strelka. That'll be a great first round game. Two very tough players, so it's hard to call that one. So that's a tough draw for the both of them in that kind of way. Bencic takes on Zhang as well. That'll be another kind of lovely, aesthetically pleasing game, if you want to call it that. Emma Navarro has had probably a disappointing year by her own high standards, but always plays well and can handle the pressure of the New York crowds. Alicia Parks against Andreeva. That'll be another great game. Barbara Krejcikova, the past French and Wimbledon champion, takes on Mboko. Mboko is a kind of up and coming Canadian player who won the Canadian Open a couple of weeks ago and beat Naomi Osaka in the final. It was extremely impressive how she handled that situation. So it's one of those, is she riding a wave, when she comes across the New York crowds? Is it going to be too much for her? Not sure, but she certainly has an impressive game. And to play Barbara Krejcikova in the first round, both players will find out a lot about themselves very early, but the winner to come out of that will feel that they're in bonus territory, I guess, in some ways. So watch out, whoever comes through that and how they progress. Venus Williams is still going. She came in with a wild card, I believe, and will play Mukova. So that's a very tough round for Venus Williams, to be honest with you. But Mukova is usually so good in those kind of difficult situations where the crowd is against you, and her tennis can kind of quietly beat you without doing too much. The game I'm kind of drawn to, Rakhimova against Caroline Garcia. Caroline Garcia going to retire at the end of the season. Rakhimova, I saw playing Schneider in the Monterrey Open a couple of days ago and was really, really impressed with the both of them. Schneider just went on to win that Open last night in extremely impressive fashion. But this game was just, the standard was so high. I kind of just flicked it on the TV the way you do, and they battled for the clean ball striking and the baseline exchanges. And I feel like the US Open, you need a big serve, but you've got to be able to hold your form at the baseline. And they were both extremely accurate, extremely powerful players, moving very well. And, whoever got out of that, well, they eventually did go on and win the tournament, but extremely impressive with the two of those players. So it may not look like a great game, but again, another ones that are lovely to watch, have a lovely game and very aesthetically pleasing the way they hit the ball. Naomi Osaka gets off against Minen. The Osaka finally, as her ranking has gone up, has a bit of an easier draw, but she had a very difficult ones the previous year. So very interested to see how Naomi Osaka is going. She's returned to form a lot, but has had a tough final loss there to Mboko a couple of weeks ago. And will she be able to handle the pressure and the limelight? She's handled it before, but it's been too hit and miss, to be honest. But her tennis has returned, and don't be surprised to see her go a very, very long way here. Donna Vekic against Monero, Goff against Tomjanovic. Goff should get through that. And Anisimova against Clara Perel is another great game. Clara Perel is a very tough player to beat, and Anisimova has reached the Wimbledon final this year, so it's in flying form as well. It's tough to look past Iga Swiatek for this in terms of form. Sabalenka hasn't performed on the biggest games this year. Now she is the reigning champion, and that could turn, because for someone who's made a lot of finals, she hasn't won the major this year that she would have wanted. So she'll be extremely eager and hungry, but I don't know if she has the kind of clutch tennis when the pressure is dialed up to finish it out. So yeah, that's it for the first round. I know there's a lot of names and matchups going on there. It's very, very open. It's very exciting. On the women's side, I think you have to favour Iga, as on the men's side. You'd probably give the edge to Sinner, but it's really a toss-up between Sinner and Alcaraz. And as I said, Fritz, maybe never rule out Djokovic. Medvedev hasn't been great. Ben Shelton, perhaps. He'll face Alcaraz probably in the quarterfinal if they both come through. So if he can beat him, in a quarterfinal in the US Open, is probably the time he would beat him in that kind of a situation. So very interesting to see him, especially as his serve is still amazingly hard to beat when he's not missing the line. And on the women's side, apart from Iga, Naomi Osaka perhaps for a long shot, but don't rule out Madison Keys, Jessica Pegula, the American players, and I'll never look past Sabalenka and Paulini. Kind of not been talked about a lot. Still playing great. Still won a lot of doubles tournaments and stuff like that. So Anyways, hope you enjoy. I'll try and be back within the tournament with some more. Just last night, the Hall of Fame inducted Maria Sharapova, who's a great servant to the sport of tennis. So just wanted to mention that, and Serena Williams nicely inducted her with the speech, which was lovely. Great rivals, you know, showing each other appreciation, so that's great. So hope you enjoy. I'll be back soon with updates, as we'll have less players to consider then, and hope you don't mind losing a bit of sleep for some great tennis, and we'll see you soon.